Ben Affleck and J-Lo was spotted at the Venice Film Festival. They're ready to go watch The Last Duel. But can I just say, Ben Affleck looks amazing. Shaved his beard, he's probably getting ready to go. Speculation that he will be going to London real soon. Yeah, let's get that bat flick, man. Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flicks. My name is Chris Wong. First, let's talk about Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom. Then we're going to talk about Huntress. And finally, that Snyderverse exclusive that, never made it to Screen Rant, but was revealed on the timeline today. Alright, let's talk about Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom. This came from DC Verso, what appears to be a concept art for Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom. More specifically, this is Arthur Curry's stealth suit with the trident in hand. I'm really digging the stealth suit. It looks quite amazing, but I gotta say, man, why is his hair and beard so blonde? And frankly, this is the concept art, so I guess it doesn't translate well to highlights in the actual movie. Remember, James Wan actually put out what he actually looks like in the movie. And if this concept art came out first, and maybe he knew it's gonna come out first, people would have said, oh my god, he looks really blonde, which is actually accurate to the comics, but not accurate to his Polynesian heritage. So I'm actually quite glad James Wan put out the real picture of Arthur Curry first before this came out. But since Aquaman got a new suit, I'm starting to wonder if Mera gets a new suit, Black Manta gets a new suit, Orm gets a new suit. There's a lot more stuff we're not seeing here yet, and I can't wait to see it. Probably at DC Fandom. Alright, let's talk about Huntress. There's actually no Huntress movie yet, but there is that Kate movie that came out on Netflix starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And I've watched the movie and it is awesome. She has martial arts skills in a cyberpunk environment. Oh, I love that movie. Maybe it will further the discussion of actually having a Huntress movie. Now, there's a lot more action and stunt work in the Kate movie than Birds of Prey, but you can kind of see how a Huntress movie could happen with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. In fact, she talked a little bit about her working on Birds of Prey. I was really tired after Birds of Prey. Just the way that the film was shot was pretty taxing because there were really long takes, Winstead tells The Hollywood Reporter. Most action movies break it up into pieces, and just the way that Kathy Yan directed it, she wanted these beautiful, long, cinematic, no cuts kind of movements. And that looked really cool, but it was really hard to pull off. So it was coming off of that. And I remember meeting with Cedric, Nicholas Troyan, and just going, okay, but can we have some edits in this? Because I don't know if I can do just one long take anymore. So he was just really lovely and really assured me that he would do it in how I needed to do it and that it would be okay. And by the time we got there, I was so ready to go again. I was ready to do whatever needed to be done. So you can kind of feel that it was taxing on her, but as she got in the mood and the groove, you can tell she kind of really enjoyed it. Just seeing what she does in Kate, yeah, she is awesome. But what about that Huntress movie? If they got Margot Robbie to be Harley Quinn more than once, and Jurnee Smollett is going to play Black Canary again, come on. HBO Max is ripe for you to add another streaming movie, and that is Huntress. In fact, Mary Elizabeth Winstead commented about that. If it came together in the right way, it would be so much fun, Winstead shares. I know that Jurnee Smollett is doing a Black Canary movie, which I'm so excited for. She's amazing, and she's going to kill that, so I can't wait to see where that goes. I don't know if that's going to involve Huntress or not, but I love that character, and I love the version that we were able to create in Birds of Prey, but I also know there are lots of different versions and iterations of Huntress that have been out there before, whether it be in TV or comic books, so there's lots of different places she could be taken. If that's with me, that would be really cool, and I'd love to see where that goes, but I'm also happy to watch whatever direction it goes in. So yeah, at this time, there's probably no talks of that, but hey, if Misha Green is still writing the script for, Black Canary, and if that's the sequel to Birds of Prey, come on. Birds of Prey ends with Huntress, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya in a Birds of Prey team. So even if it's a small little part, having Mary Elizabeth Winstead return as Huntress and having some kick-ass action from Kate, that would be awesome opening to Black Canary before Black Canary goes on her own journey. Will that happen? I don't know. But hopefully all eyes are on Kate on Netflix and they can appreciate Mary Elizabeth Winstead doing all those action stunts and everything. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing. And wanting more of that, the next best thing would be a Huntress solo movie with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Alright, now a while back I said that there was going to be like a Snyderverse exclusive coming out of Screen Rant. Well, that didn't happen. But the person who was going to give that information to Screen Rant had put it out on the timeline. And this is really interesting because it deals with a possible Justice League 2. This is coming from Scoot, who works in the industry. Zack was setting up Brainiac in Man of Steel and BVS. He would have arrived post-Steppenwolf. The tech that makes up the Kryptonian scouter ship's Genesis chamber uses his resources. This was all abandoned. I learned this from one of the VFX artists on the films. Now, yes, this may not have been the Snyderverse, like restore the Snyderverse that may happen in the future, but it could key into what Justice League 2 may just be. Now, we have the original storyboards, Justice League 2 and 3, and nothing of Brainiac appears in them. As Scoot says, it was, totally abandoned during that time. Now, before you start saying, well, maybe this is actually more of a Man of Steel sequel, Zack did say that Brainiac would have been a great idea for a Man of Steel sequel. This is what Scoot said. Early JL2 idea. So it was an early version of a Justice League 2 idea that never made it to the original storyboards that Jim Lee drew out. The reason why I'm kind of excited for this is that this could change. Zack said himself, he has new storyboards. There are not like the original storyboards. And only he knows how different that would have been. Only he knows what's on those storyboards. And only he knows what direction they're going to go in. And like everything Zack's worked on that he hasn't touched for a while, it changes. Like the current Army of the Dead is not exactly the same Army of the Dead that he had planned and written back then. There is a possibility that the Justice League 2 and 3 may not be exactly like the original storyboards that we can see now. And possibly that means that Brainiac could be a more prominent character in the sequels. Who knows? Maybe Brainiac was in the open pod. We initially thought it was Kara Zor-El until Zack said he, not she, was in the open pod. And I can only think of one big major Kryptonian character that could show up is Brainiac. So maybe Justice League 2 would have had those hints and elements of Brainiac further along. As they defeat one major villain in Darkseid, Brainiac's character will develop in 2 and 3, and finally in a Man of Steel, true Man of Steel sequel, we'll have Superman himself versus Brainiac. So I think that's a major possibility because Zack, maybe hasn't even written part 2 and 3 yet. He just has the storyboards. He just knows which direction it's going to go. From today to whenever they get to restore the Snyderverse, Zack can change it, add these elements, and maybe add in an element that was abandoned a while back. Well, if Zack gets to do whatever he wants to do when they restore the Snyderverse and let him do Justice League 2 and Justice League 3, Brainiac could be a character he wants to put back in.